Good afternoon. Welcome to the Oklahoma City Board of Adjustment. The first item on the agenda is to receive the minutes of May the 2nd, and I don't think we've got enough people here to do that. I was not here. Oh, you can't? Okay.
So moved.
Recent.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? All voted aye. The next item on the agenda is the continuances.
We have three today. Item number 1, case number 13653, 13655, and 13656. Item number 2, case number 13654. Both of those are asking for a continuance to July 11th. And item number 14, case number 13598, is asking for a continuance to June 20th.
Do we have anybody here that would like to speak to those? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second for the continuances. All those in favor? All voted aye. One other thing, just kind of housekeeping, if you've got a cell phone or a pager, I don't think there's any pagers anymore, but cell phones, would you please turn them off, please? Do we have any continuances in the public?
Good afternoon, David Box, 522 Colcord Drive. I would ask that item 8, if we could defer that for 2 weeks.
So moved.
Entertain the motion.
So moved. Motion and a second.
All those in favor?
Thank
All
you.
voted aye. Thank you, David. First item on the agenda, I guess, is item number 3.
Item number 3, case number 13729, request for use variance of Stevens & Johnson Operating Company for permit to drill an oil gas well located at 8005 South Bryan Avenue.
Good afternoon. Russ Walker filed these applications. He did not realize.
If you would you give us your name and address, please?
Yes, it's Jerry Ann, Jariann Thomas, 511 Couch Drive, 3rd floor.
Pull that microphone down a little bit. Thank you.
Is that better?
Okay.
Each of the 5 applications before you for Stevens & Johnson this afternoon were filed by Russ Walker, as I was saying before. He did not realize he would be out of town today and asked me to please stand in at the hearings for him. I am familiar with the applications and helped draft them, and I'm an attorney in his office. I think I could answer any questions that you all might have about any of them, if you'd like to address them one by one or all together.
Are you protesting?
No, I represent the applicant,
Okay,
Stevens
okay,
& Johnson.
You need to come just a little bit closer to that mic, if you won't mind.
And I think we can consider these cases together and then vote on them separately.
I think we can.
Okay.
Okay, there's what? 3 of them or 4?
There's 5.
There are
5 of them. Okay. Item 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Is that correct?
Yes.
I don't have any questions if there isn't anybody here from the public that wishes to comment or protest.
Okay. Do we have anybody in the audience that's in protest of these items? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that Danny, do we need to approve them one by one? I make a motion for approval on item number 4. Or 3, I'm sorry. I got ahead of my...
Item number 3, case number 13729, second.
All those in favor? All voted aye. Item number 4.
Motion to approve, case number 13730.
Second.
All those in favor? All voted aye. Item number 5.
I move for approval item number 5, case number 13731.
Second.
All those in favor? All voted aye. Item number 6.
Motion to approve, case number 6, 13732.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion? All voted aye. Number 7.
Make a motion for approval case number 7, number 13733.
Second.
All those in favor? All voted aye. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Item number 8.
Item number 9.
9.
Case number 13726, request of Linda Havrilla for a variance to allow a pool encroaching 9 feet into the 15-foot platted side building located at 6905 Edgewater Drive.
Thank you. My name is Linda Havrilla, and I'm at 6905 Edgewater Drive, and I'm coming before you today, as she said, to ask for a pool variance. I've lived in my home 32 years and started considering a pool a couple of years ago when my brother became disabled and moved in with me. It would be good therapy for him, and as I get older and look toward retirement, it would be good for me as well. I think, as you can see by the information I've put in my packet, the area that I've got the pool drawn for is the only place within my yard, due to the other things that are in my yard that can accommodate a pool. I've got the sewer line for the neighborhood on one side of my house, and then an 80-year-old tree in what's considered the backyard, I guess. So this would be the only place that a pool could go in my yard, and I'm asking that you approve the variance so that I can put in the pool.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Do we have anybody in the audience wishing to speak in protest?
Since there are no unfavorable conditions by staff, I make a motion for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor? You're approved, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Item number 10, case number 13728, request of John Woods for a variance to the platted limits of no access to permit a residential driveway on South Santa Fe Avenue located at 17501 South Santa Fe Avenue.
All right. Hi, my name's John Woods. I live at 17501 South Santa Fe Avenue. I am the owner, occupant, and the applicant for the variance. I pulled a building permit to build my garage. I have kind of a unique situation. I'm kind of a little acreage. On the very south end of town, there's a development to the north of me. I did an add-on to my garage. It's on the north end. My existing driveway is a gravel drive that is on the very south end of my property. It's a little awkward. I built a brick wall in the front of my house. It's really nice, intending to be able to access the new garage and everything from more of a center location of the frontage. The existing drive right now it adjoins a commercial drive to the south of me, which is very confusing to people that are going to either location. I continually have people pull in my driveway that are thinking they're accessing the church. They're backing back out onto Santa Fe when they realize it's not a church parking lot. And I felt like that was probably a little bit dangerous. I have several other issues. I think one of the things was they thought that maybe I could access from the north. There's a 6-foot tall brick wall on the north of me. That makes that pretty difficult. Another thing is our postal delivery person at times will not even deliver our mail due to our mailboxes. These driveways literally adjoin each other. I mean, and the mailbox is kind of right in the middle. It's a pretty dangerous situation. Sorry, those pictures aren't very good, but anyways, the church will pull their trash cans out there, and they literally block my mailbox, and I don't even get my mail usually on Fridays. The trash pickup is on Thursdays. And you can see that's not a real attractive gravel driveway. Where I'm proposing is on another one of the pictures, I think, where I have the new proposed entryway. Like I said, I started doing all this not realizing I was in the limits of access. But I built a brick wall with a centrally... I actually have some pictures if you would like to see where I have built the brick wall. Or not. Would you like to see them?
Yes, if you don't mind. JJ, is there no access available to the north?
I believe, like he said, the subdivision to the north has built there's a 6-foot tall brick wall
There's a brick wall.
that runs along there.
Yes.
Can he go through that brick wall? Could he have access to that street?
If it's a public street,
He could.
Probably, to answer that question, it would take quite a bit of doing. Like I said, there is the brick wall, and plus it's really awkward because, I mean, I would have to access from the north, come back around to the south end of my property, circle back around, and come back up to and turn back north again. It's pretty awkward, but...
His access to his home has been off Santa Fe, and that's the only unfavorable is that you try to restrict access off streets like that into a driveway.
Which I have an existing drive on Santa Fe now. I'm just proposing moving it north 100 and something feet.
Is the new driveway going to be gravel also? Or?
No, sir. It will be concrete.
It'll be concrete?
Yes, and what I was proposing is a new concrete drive and setting the mailbox off of the street quite a ways. I mean, I took the entryway, and it's got a brick curvature to where it sets way back, and I was going to make it accessible for the postal delivery people where they could actually pull well off of the road and not be in any kind of danger.
And then just abandon the existing
Yes,
gravel
sir.
drive and go ahead and
Yes,
let
sir.
that be turf. I don't have any real concerns about this.
I don't either. It sounds like we're getting a more aesthetically pleasing driveway off the street for it, so I'll make a motion for approval if there are any questions or protesters.
Let's see if do we have any protesters in the audience? Okay, entertain a second.
Second.
All those in favor of the motion? You're approved, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 11, case number 13734, request of Rick and Robin Davis for a variance to allow a 2,400 square foot accessory building exceeding the maximum 1,250 square foot requirement located at 5408 Lazy Fawn Trail.
Good afternoon. My name is Rick Davis. I'm appearing today with my wife, Robin Davis. Our address is 5408 Lazy Fawn Trail, Mustang, Oklahoma 73064. And as Kathy said, we're appearing for a variance to build a shop bigger than the maximum allowed by the city code. And I have some pictures that I've taken of the lot, and I've actually had a drawing drawn up of the house where the shop would sit, just to show you all. The shop was almost going to be completely covered up by the house, We've talked to our neighbors on all three sides, the two sides and the one across the street, and they're all really okay with it. The neighbor on the south said he would like to see it. He might want to store some stuff in there. But the shop would be built to specs and codes, and it would be a first-rate shop. And I know it's a little bit big, but I do have some pictures of stuff. We got a lot of stuff. We're paying about $1,000 a month for storage just to keep all this stuff in. We'd like to bring it home where we could keep it there at home. But would you all
Just
like?
bring it to her, please. What's the intent of the shop?
Just for storage. It's to put our boat and pickups and trailers and stuff like that in.
Do you work on trailers? Do you do?
No, sir. No, sir. It's just so we can keep it at home rather than to put it in a storage building and have to pay storage for it.
JJ, is the city ordinance would be 1,200 square feet, right?
Yes, sir. And I'd like to add, we've drove around. There are shops this size in the area, the immediate area. They're just across 59th where they're in Mustang city limits and not Oklahoma City.
Any questions of the board?
I would just say, I understand what you're trying to do and appreciate it, but you're looking for twice
Yes, sir.
what's allowed. And I'd feel more comfortable if there was, some accommodation to the code. The fact that you've got all those, the boats and the ATVs is really incidental. And I can appreciate the fact that, you'd like to bring them back home and you'd like to, store them safely. But I'm not sure that that's a justification
Yes, sir.
for the variance request.
Is there a size, if I scaled it down, the boat sitting on the trailer is 45 feet long? Yes, sir. Is there a size that you all would be comfortable with, that if I tried to scale it down, say like a 30 by 50, which would be 1,500 square feet, that...
I would feel, I echo Jeff's comments, I would feel more comfortable if the difference wasn't so great.
Yes, sir.
I think that you should, be allowed, this is going to be, I've looked at your pictures, your home's done very aesthetically. This is going to be done within the aesthetics. You've gone to a designer and spent a lot of time and effort. I would be more comfortable with something that just wasn't double.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to set a precedent for everybody that comes before this
Yes, sir, I
commission.
understand.
And I'm sympathetic to, and a little envious of all the toys you have, but we got to come up with some common ground there. So.
Yes, sir, I understand.
The area that you're showing, and I don't know which side, it looks like it may be on the south side.
Yes, sir.
The little lean-to, is that enclosed?
The lean-to we have actually taken off. We originally was going to add that on there and make it where it was the 40 by 60 with the lean-to to put the travel trailer. But since that time, we're thinking that we're just going to get rid of the travel trailer rather than to try to store, everything right there at the house. So we're thinking that we're just going to do something, sell it or trade it, just get rid of it.
So the lean-to is not included?
Yes, sir. The lean-to is off of it.
And it may be that you're going to have to just choose what you keep at the house. During the boating season, it may make more sense to keep the boat close to home, and when it's out of season, perhaps store it somewhere else.
Yes, sir. It costs a lot of money to store that thing.
I understand. You said you're getting rid of this?
That is what we're selling, yes, sir.
So you don't need as much room because you've got the boat?
Well, we don't need the lean-to.
But the proposed building, if you don't have this, then why do you need a building that large?
That wouldn't fit in the building anyway.
But you don't need 40 by 60 even to put your 40-foot boat and your ATVs in, do you?
Well, there's, the boat, the boat is 45 foot long. There's a 28-foot trailer there that, I mean, you guys know they're the most sought-after things for thieves in the city right now. I mean, they get stowed left and right.
But I'm going to concur with Nick. 40 by 60, I think, is probably more than we can do.
Yes, sir.
But I think, you're allowed 1250, and, we might fudge a little bit on that.
Yeah, I agree with Jeff. Another concern I have is, while you have nobody around you that's protesting this, 30 years from now, when there's somebody else trying to buy this, that could be an impediment.
That's going to be probably the problem right there.
That's where the problem's going to come up, is when your neighbors go to sell this, and other people viewing the property don't find this as aesthetically pleasing. But I mean, I'm with Jeff. I mean, I think 1,500 feet 1,600 feet, somewhere in there, I'd be comfortable with. So, I mean, if you're willing to accept
Yes, sir. I mean, we designed the building for what we thought we could keep everything in comfortable. And, like you all pointed out, we might have to put something somewhere else or something. But, I mean, we would like to make it at least 50 feet long, if it's like a 30 by 50 or something, so that boat can stay in it all the time, because it just,
I understand, and I'm compassionate to that, and the crime risk you bring up, I understand that argument. I don't have a problem with a 30 by 50 building. If Jeff, what do you think?
I would support a 1,500 square foot building. A variance that allows.
That's your motion.
My motion is a variance for a 1,500 square foot outbuilding.
30 by 50?
30 by
Yes, sir.
50.
Second.
All those, do we have anybody that's in protest in the audience? That not being the case, all those in favor? You approve, sir.
Thank you all.
For 30 by,
30 by 50, yes, sir.
okay.
Thank you.
Item 12, case number 13735, request of David McClelland for a variance to the required number of parking spaces located at 2224 Northwest 23rd Street.
Good afternoon, David Box, 522 Colcord Drive, here on behalf of the applicant. Our application today is for a variance to the required number of parking spaces. The hardship that the code puts on this property is it requires a number of parking spaces that, due to the unique nature of the applicant's use and the unique nature of the other businesses within the center, is excessive. The proposed business is a Billy Sims Barbecue, and a predominant number of their clients are takeout customers, so they don't have a lot of dine-in customers that would generate a lot of traffic and parking needs. In addition to that, there are several tenants within the center that also do carry-out business. There's a Papa Murphy's in there. In addition, there's two businesses that close at 5 and the other closes at 6. So at the peak time, worst case scenario, when the applicant would need the most parking, two of the other businesses are gone, and the staff report indicates that there's only, I think, 8 additional spaces that would be needed, but we think with the unique nature of the use being predominantly carry-out, that even those 8 spaces wouldn't really be needed. So we would ask for your approval, and here to answer any questions.
Any questions of the board?
I just, if there's a need for more parking, logically, people are going to park in the neighborhood in front of homes. Is there anybody from the public, from the neighborhood, that's here to protest or comment?
Can we make this conditional on this business being there? Because if the business were change in the future, you could need more parking.
You could condition it to the type of business, but not this particular business.
I'm not talking about the entity, but just a restaurant. Yeah.
Yes.
I'd feel more comfortable with that, just because later on down the road, if another tenant came in and it was a high parking requirement, or we could come up with something different. I just don't want to put this in stone where, when circumstances change, this is inflexible.
Absolutely. My client's willing to limit it to their use.
Could we put a time on it? And, so we can kind of see how it's going to flow.
You can limit it to time.
I just don't know that that's necessary. If we condition it around the use, I think that's probably adequate. question.
I agree.
That's fine. I hear a motion. We have nobody in protest in the audience?
I move for approval as long as it's a restaurant.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? You approve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 13, case number 13736, request of the City of Oklahoma City for a variance to the parking lot landscaping requirement located at 500 Land Rush Street.
My name is Wayne Corbell. I'm with the Oklahoma City Maps Office representing the city on this case. I'd be glad to go over the project or answer any questions that you might have.
This seems pretty straightforward to me. The variance request for, to be relieved of the obligation for landscaping in this application, I think is perfectly acceptable. Make a motion to approve.
I second. I agree, considering it's part of the project at the fairgrounds.
Do we have anybody wishing to protest? All those in favor of the motion?
Thank you.
You approve, sir. Thanks. You mean we're through? Is that a record of some kind?
Pretty close.
With anything from the board or anybody in the public wishing to bring anything before the board that's not on an agenda? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? We're adjourned.